I thought I would do a comparison video between Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Powders and Nuvo Shimmer Powders. The Nuvo Shimmer Powders have only just come out as I'm filming this video, but I had great fun playing with them, making samples for the shows, and they're a really fun product to play with as well. They are both a mix of pigment or dye powder, like a coloured powder, and a mica powder, but I would say there are some differences, especially in the way they react. I'm hoping you'll be able to see the differences when I do a little example with them. But I would say, like, especially Catherine Wheel, which is the red colour. I'm not sure if you can tell. Look at that. It's kind of got like an extra layer of gold mica on top of the colour, which I really like. It's a really interesting one, Catherine Wheel. But anyway, so the differences between them: you get 30 mils in a Pixie powder, you get 20 mils in the shimmer powder, but the shimmer powder has the coolest packaging. Both of them have a fine nozzle on them for you to be able to tap the product out. The Nuvo one is actually quite a bit thinner. I don't know if you can really tell the size of the nib. I think you can. I'd say it's maybe half the diameter, so you can get a much finer distribution of your colour with the tonic one. Both bottles you can squeeze. I would say the Nuvo bottle is maybe easier to squeeze, so if you did want a lot coming out, you can squeeze out a little portion to watercolour with, or to do a different kind of background with. I think both of them you could probably pop the top off and put the powder back inside. I don't think I'd do that, just because I wouldn't want the lid to come off if I did squeeze it, and then you'd have a mess everywhere. But anyway, they're both a really fine powder. You can kind of see it in the air when you're working with it as well, especially if you're tapping it from a height. You can sort of see sparkly stuff, which is pretty. Yeah, they both react with water. You can use both of them in so many different ways. I think I've used them both in all the different ways that I like to use them, like splattering with them, painting with them, using them in shaving foam to create cool techniques, using them through stencils, doing them onto dry card and spraying with water, putting them onto a wet piece of card and watching them burst out. So there's tons of different ways to use these, and they're a really versatile product as well. So these are my swatches, and I'm going to do a comparison between Peacock Green and Atlantis Burst, because I think they're pretty similar when dry. They're both that kind of a tealy colour with a mix of blue and green, and you can actually see the differences here. So with the Pixie Powders, the mica kind of stays where it is. It has drifted a bit, but with the Nuvo ones, you can see it kind of, the mica powder kind of separates from the rest of it when it's wet, and it sort of floats on the top, which I think is a really cool look. So they do give different results, because that was applying them both in exactly the same way. Okay, so these are the Pixie Powders that I have. You can see that kind of, you've got the gold and the silver, pinks, and this one's a mix. Yellow is pure, like the Solar Flare. Then there's a golden mint that's sort of gold and green together, and you've got blue and purple together. So the one different one, unless I just haven't got the Cosmic Shimmer version of it, the Violet Brocade is gorgeous because it has pink and blue in it, and when it comes out it mixes to make gorgeous deep purple. So, oh yeah, and the way Paola explained the tonic powders on the telly was that you've got these three that are solid colours, and they're like your toner colours in your printer, so they'll make up any colours you want to mix yourself. And then these three are the mixtures. So the Atlantis Burst is kind of greens and blues. This one, as I said, is pink and blue. And the Catherine Wheel, it's kind of got gold mica, but then there's bits of pink and red and orange, and it's gorgeous. So that's enough of me rabbiting on. I hope any of that made sense. And I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison, I think. I'll come out a bit further. So, I like to spray my mat a little bit first, so that when I put the card down, the back of the card is a little bit wet so it doesn't bow so much. Then I think I'll do the wet and wet, or the dry and wet technique. So I will start with the Nuvo powder on this side. So I'm just going to spray with water. I've already got it from somewhere, there's bits here. Anyway, spray with water, and then you just want to hold the bottle horizontal and like tap the end. And look at the gorgeous colours that just burst straight out of it. Gorgeous. And it's definitely blues and greens in this one. And if you haven't added enough water to your card, you can easily go back in and add some more. I'm not sure if you can really tell on camera. Oh, it's really difficult to show you, but it kind of, try and show you, in this puddle here, I don't know if my lights are in the right kind of place, you can kind of see all this mica floating on top. I think that's really different. Oh, there we go, there we go. Oh, I don't want it to run off. But you can, there you go, see it floating. I think that's really different to Pixie Powders. I don't think they do that. I haven't noticed them do that. I really like that about them, because it gives a really different look. So I'm just going to add a bit more water to activate the rest of the powder, and maybe add a smidge more. And you can create really vibrant looks with these, like it looks quite vibrant here, or you can create a more muted look. You could do this kind of technique and swipe it across with a paintbrush to sort of mix all the colour in and make it go across the whole card, or you can just get a piece of kitchen roll and you can just mop up some of it as well. That will give you a softer look, or you just add less powder or more water as well. So there we go, that is the Tonic Nuvo Shimmer Powders in Atlantis Burst. Then this is going to be Peacock Green Pixie Powders. So again, spray with water, and then again hold the bottle horizontal and tap. So you can immediately see the difference in the way they react. I'd say that the Pixie Powders don't burst out as much. If you've tried Brush-O before, these act a lot like Brush-O, I would say, but they've got the gorgeous mica in them. And you can see in this one actually the very discreteness of the two colours. It's very dotty yellow, dotty blue. You know, you can see that there's definitely two colours in there that make up this colour. And there's definitely none of that effect that you were getting with the Nuvo powders. I'll try and show you. See, there's no, oh, that's going to all drip off, isn't it? There's no mica floating on the surface. I don't know if you can still see that on here. Yeah, you can kind of see that sort of haze of mica. You don't get that with Pixies. but you do get, obviously where it has landed, it is lovely and mica-y, but you just don't get that flowing across the surface. I like both effects, and obviously I will continue to use both products. I mean, I don't think there's any harm in having both, you know. You can use them for different techniques as well. So there's the comparison side by side of the blue-greeny mixes of the two ranges. So this one was Peacock Green Pixie Powder from Cosmic Shimmer, and this one is Atlantis Burst Shimmer Powder from Nuvo and Tonic Studios. So then I think I will quickly show you, get another scrap of card, a little bit of watercolouring and splatting I think would be a good thing to show. So in this case, when I'm doing anything where I want to add water to the powder to make a sort of paint out of it, I spray the water first, because if you put a little pile of this powder and then you spray with your spray bottle, it goes everywhere. So little puddle for one, little puddle for the other. I might do 2 squirts in each. So we'll keep the Cosmic Shimmer on the left, just tap some in, and then the Nuvo on the right. Look at the difference. You can immediately tell the difference of the way it reacts with water. Here you've still got clean water around the edge of the Pixie, whereas in the Nuvo it's proper spread out. So there you go, that's the main two differences I would say between them. So you just mix it up, and then for watercolouring, really easy. You can add more water to make it softer colour, or you can add more pixies to make it more mica-y and a solid colour. And also I'm going to show you my favourite, one of my favourite ways that I've always used my Pixie Powders is just to finish off a card with a few splashes. So all I do for this is you take a small round brush, this one's a number 2, you hold it quite near the end in one hand, and then load up your brush and gently tap with the other hand. You can't really see where my finger is. I'm just tapping from here, and there we go, get the splashes. So just wash out my brush. Okay, and then mix up the Nuvo, and we paint with it. I was really enjoying painting with these for the samples I did for the shows. They were gorgeous and mica-y. Okay, and then again, a bit of splashing. And then I'm going to dry this piece as well so that you can see the dried finished effect, because the mica comes through more when they're dry. I would usually leave them to dry naturally, like a background, but just for this purpose, I'm going to dry them. So on the left we've got the Pixie Powders, which you can see actually it's more clumps of mica rather than an all over sheen, and then the splashes are really gorgeous and mica-y. And then on this side we've got the Nuvo powder, which is more of an all over sheen. It kind of looks more like you've used a sparkle pen, which I really like the look of. And then we've got the splashes as well. So there we go, that was my quick look at a comparison between the Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Powders and the Nuvo Shimmer Powders. So thanks for watching, bye.